Welcome to Menopause and Miracles, the podcast where midlife women stop fighting their pain and start listening to what it's been trying to say all along. This is a space for the woman who's been pushing through the aches, the pains, the tension, the exhaustion, and the physical discomfort that seems to have arrived uninvited. The emotional weight that's harder to ignore and the quiet mental noise that keeps asking for something more. Here, we take a different approach. We don't rush to fix it, we don't silence it, we lean in because pain in this season isn't just something to manage, it is something to guide you. We talk about the body in midlife, hormones, inflammation, fatigue, and the signals you may have learned to override. We explore the emotional layers, grief, resentment, and the part of you that has been asking to be felt. And we look at the deeper truth that pain in all its forms can be an invitation back to yourself. This is where you begin to understand that what feels like a breakdown might actually be your life asking you to live in a way that finally supports you, and that just might be the miracle. I'm Suzanne, your host and your midlife wingwoman, and I'm here to help you turn toward the pain with curiosity instead of resistance so you can understand what your body, your emotions, and your inner voice are truly asking for in this season of midlife. This is episode 48, The Miracle of Pain. Okay, so pain, we all know, has a way of getting our attention, right? There is the physical pain, emotional pain, the quiet mental loops we just can't seem to turn off. And most of us have been taught to do one thing with pain: make it stop, fix it, numb it, push through it, make it go away, override it. But what if pain, especially in midlife, isn't just something to eliminate? What if it's something to listen to? And so today, we're exploring something that might shift the way you experience pain in your body, your emotions, and even your life. The miracle of pain. So pain in midlife is just all about redefining it, because in midlife, pain often shows up in ways that feel relentless, right? Your body changes, hormones fluctuate, slip, sleep is shifting, not your slip. Your sleep is shifting. And inflammation rises. Or maybe if your slip is shifting down, I don't know, maybe it's a good thing instead of shifting up. Inflammation rises, old injuries whisper louder, or sometimes they shout, right? And my experience, if it's like your experience, it's all of these things at once, I think, that makes the pain level a little bit more intolerable. And alongside the physical experiences, then there are the emotional pains that we experience, whether it's grief, resentment, loneliness, and the weight of years lived for everyone else. And there's the mental pain, the mental things that come up, overthinking, questioning your identity, wondering, is this it? Losing your identity when things shift in midlife. Just, going, who helps you process that? How do you help yourself process all of that? And from the outside, it could feel like everything is breaking down. And have you had that moment yet? I know I have. But what if something else is happening? What if your body, your emotions, your mind are simply no longer wanting to stay quiet or stay in the background? Pain as communication, not as a punishment. Pain is not random. It is not your body betraying you. It's communication. Your body speaks in sensation, your emotion speaks in feeling, and your mind speaks in patterns. And let me say that again because these are not messages that we typically receive from the outside world or scrolling. They come directly to you and directly from you. Your body speaks in sensation, your emotions speak in feeling, and your mind speaks in patterns. And when something has been ignored, overridden, or suppressed for too long, pain, likes to turn up the volume, not to hurt you, but to reach you, sending you messages, signs, and signals saying, hey, when are you going to pay a little bit more attention to me? So let's start with the physical body. Pain as wisdom, not weakness. And so that stiffness, that tension, that fatigue, I think we ignore it and push it away because yes, we want to make it go away, or we think that we're too busy, which is most of the time adulting, doing whatever you have to do with your responsibilities. But what if we really just listen and that is actually the way through it? Instead of seeing something that's wrong, what if you asked yourself, what is my body asking for that I have not been giving it lately? And maybe it's rest instead of constant output, nourishment instead of restriction, movement that supports instead of punishes, scaling down some of I don't know if I know I had to do that from the harder exercises, a harder cardio to restorative yoga, a meditation class, like really bringing balance where there was none, boundaries that also protect your energy, knowing when it's enough of doing one thing or being with certain people or, taking calls or not taking calls, just being so conscious of your energy and what you have the capacity for. I think setting those boundaries for yourself is such a blessing. So, pain in the body can be a boundary that you didn't set consciously, but now is being set for you. Or I like to say your body is just simply trying to help you where something is needed. And so, the emotional pain, the unfelt versus now the felt emotional pain in midlife often isn't new, it's accumulated. It is moments you have passed way too quickly, feelings you didn't have time to process for whatever reason, and versions of yourself you had to abandon to even keep life moving, maybe not having any time to just reflect, going from, one time in your life, one version of yourself to the next. And midlife gives us that, or menopause gives us that pause to do so. And now everything in midlife starts to resurface, right? So patiently whispering in that you can handle this. Midlife, I think, does that. Menopause does that. Once you hear the messages, you get yourself to stop and listen. I think it just also wants to tell you, like, I've got you. We can do this. So again, pain is not there to overwhelm you, but to just be acknowledged, almost with a plea to say, please don't dismiss yourself any longer. Please do not put yourself or this part of yourself aside anymore. And emotional pain is often grief in disguise, and grief is love that didn't have a place to land. Another good one worth repeating. Grief is love that didn't have a place to land. And then we have what could be mental pain, loops that signal change is here. And it's like, what if you have too much on your plate, or you're not ready for it, or you didn't get the midlife menopause memo, and all of a sudden you have repetitive thoughts, things that you're questioning, restlessness that is not just anxiety. There are changes and things that are going on. And so it's often misaligned living, just wanting to correct itself. I mean, when you arrive into midlife or menopause, you know, it's just telling you it's a time for a shift and a change, and your mind will keep circling what your life hasn't addressed up until this moment. And so, some of us may experience a more softer, gentler way, and others may have everything come together at once. Again, I've talked about my experience physically, felt like I was in a car crash of some sorts, just the way that everything had shut down, the pain levels, the way I wasn't able to function. So remember that all of what you're experiencing is not to torture you. It is to redirect you. And if we look from a spiritual perspective, pain as initiation. Here's where we shift the lens. From a deeper perspective, pain is not interruption, it is initiation. And the initiation of an invitation into a more honest relationship with yourself. Isn't that so beautiful? Pain strips away what isn't working. And I love that because please help me take away what is not working if I haven't been able to do it for myself up until this point. It exposes what hasn't, what's been avoided. And it also asks for truth. So in midlife, truth becomes a non negotiable, not because you failed before, because you're ready for it now. You're ready for truth. You are ready to live in that and not have to live any other way. Your most authentic self, which is, again, a very popular term or phrase, but there is beauty in that. There is peace in that. Once you get there, it may feel uncomfortable getting there, but once you do, there are just beautiful things to experience. So let's lean into meeting pain differently here. So instead of asking, how do I make this go away? Try this week, this month, today. Pause, take a breath, and ask, where is my pain showing up? In any of the areas that we talked about so far, where is it showing up for you? What might it be asking for? Is it asking you to slow down? Is it asking you to lessen your responsibilities, lighten your load? Is it asking you to go on more walks? What is it asking you? And what have you been overriding when you hear its voice? And then just stay with that for a moment and really make sure you listen in to hear directly from you what you need. Because just like with grief, this is where most people leave, like right before something shifts. And you don't want things to shift in midlife in a way that doesn't serve you any longer, right? You want them to shift in a way that just brings you, again, peace, beauty, serenity, truth, um, whatever it is that you're looking for, love. Yes, we want the shift to be a doorway to going through. And here's some ways to, ground yourself, maybe empower yourself a little bit more. Let's make it really practical. So here's a few other ways to work with pain when it comes up. Physical pain, you could do body. If you're experiencing physical pain right now, you can do body check-ins daily. And not to fix it, but just to notice it. It's such a way to communicate with your body, just to ask, how is it doing today? And if you want to go further, you can maybe note it in a journal and just see what the progress is, or see how long it's there for, or see what is revealed when you connect with yourself in this way of just taking a moment to ask, you know, what's going on. And with emotions, you can try to name them. And it's hard. Sometimes I have a time when I have multiple emotions coming up at once. And so I don't press myself to say, what is this feeling? I just go, okay, there's a lot of feelings going on right now, and I'm just going to let them have some space. But if it's one particular feeling, this feels like sadness, this feels like anger, this feels like exhaustion, reduce the input. Pain often needs less noise, not more solutions of what to do. So, yeah, I agree. I don't think I felt anger as an emotion when I was younger because I didn't know what to do with it, being a well-behaved child. And I didn't see a lot of people around me getting angry. If it was maybe angry shouting, that was something I didn't want to do, or it was angry being silent. I probably lent more towards that. And so it feels so good to finally say, oh, I'm feeling angry. And what I do with that is I go for a walk, I do a meditation, I find a way to release it from my body and my mind. And the same for sadness. I may allow myself to be removed from adulting for a bit and take some time out to process it, go for a walk, listen to some music or meditation, or heck, even a dancing it out. I mean, it doesn't have to be quiet time. I mean, it could be, let's put on some uplifting music, right? So support your nervous system with breath, stillness, gentle movement, and ask better questions. Not, why is this happening? But what is this asking of me? And the reframe. The miracle of pain isn't that it disappears. I know we would all just love things to snap our fingers or magically disappear, but it leads you to somewhere you wouldn't have gone otherwise. And so that helps us to stay curious, right? Curious towards deeper self-awareness, stronger boundaries, more honest relationships, a body you actually listen to, and a life that reflects who you are now, not just who you used to be. And pain, again, is often the doorway. It's not a destination. And I've definitely seen this when I care or attend to my pain, let's say with physical therapy for physical pain or meditation for mental pain. My future self thanks me for the care that I provide myself and how I bring myself through all of that. So just remember, you don't need to be the woman who ignores the signals anymore. You get to be the woman who listens, who adjusts, who honors what's real for you. Pain isn't here to break you, it is here to bring you back to yourself. So, if this episode shifted the way you see pain even slightly, make sure you like, follow, subscribe so you don't miss what's next in our midlife circle here. And if someone in your life is quietly navigating their own pain, share this with them. It might be exactly what they needed to hear today. I'm Suzanne, your midlife wing woman, and this is Men, Menopause, and Miracles. Midlife isn't just about what's changing around you. It's about what your body, your mind, and your soul are finally asking you to feel so you can live in a way that truly supports you. I'll see you next Monday, same time, same space. Until then, take care and bye for now.